I don't have a slide deck prepared. But I do have a
No
couple slides
worries.
that I'll pull up as we go. Or Sam, if you've got them on hand, you can share your screen if it's
Yeah.
easier too.
Yep. I just started sharing my screen. Can you all see
You're
it?
good. Yes.
Perfect. Sweet. I realized that last 3 months I haven't done a financial update, and when I went and looked at the books, not a lot happened the last 3 months, except for all the sponsorships that we received probably in the last couple of weeks. I think I reported the total number was we got like 3 platinum and 1 gold sponsorship. IPT, Baker, and NOV. Those three are the 3 platinum. And then Corva, I think they did gold. Last year they did 2,500, I believe. I think this year they bumped it up to 3,000. Looks like we are still hunting for some sponsorships. So I will keep checking the Wells Fargo account. All the sponsorships that's coming through the VIX are staying in the main account. And I'm not sure if I have to switch that to the Drillbotics account or keep it in the main for now and then decide later what we do with the funds.
The plan is to keep it in the main. Sam, keep it in the main account.
Okay.
Correct.
Easy. And then the action items, I need to like work with Enrique on back and set him up as a signer on the Drillbotics account. That way he can handle some for me. And then we still have the fiasco with the Wells Fargo account having too many signers. All the Gulf section and treasurers, and so I need to fix that too. So those are the 2 action items. Any questions for me?
So what is the latest with that, Sam?
What was the latest update with the Wells Fargo Bank?
Yeah, I mean, how many signers we have? Who needs to drop off?
I think last time when like 7, the 2 new signers from the GCS Gulf Coast section and the 2 old, so 4 from there and 3 or 4 from outside. We think we had like 7 or 8 signers on our account. So they were like, we have to invite.
Sam, we have Gulf Coast section signers on the DSATS account.
Yeah, this has been a long, very drawn out saga.
So
and when they did their
have
elections
it
in the fall, all their new officers joined the account as well.
Exactly.
So where does it stand? What is the next step to clean it up?
I think, Greg, correct me if I'm wrong. I did like send you the DBA document, right? Or it may not be the exact DBA document, but some sort of a document relating to our banks. And then I think we were going to talk with the CFO, Steve Byrne.
I'm sorry, I don't understand that. How did Gulf Coast members get onto a DSATS owned Wells Fargo account?
We have no idea, and they don't understand how it happened either, because they go through the commercial banking team through SPE. So our account, whenever it was opened, was not opened as a commercial account through like the SPE line. It was opened as a independent, like at a business bank, through a business banker account. So it's technically a separate account type than some of the other ones, and specifically for Gulf Coast section. So even though they're tied to our account, they don't see our account in their portals, and they don't, I mean, they like have all of their separate accounts. It's very odd. So it's like, we need Wells Fargo support at this point. It makes no sense why they're on our accounts. We can't even remove any of the signers we initially planned on because there's 7 or more signers. And if you have too many signers, you can't take people off the account. I don't want to, I mean, we could go down the rabbit trail here. It's been I think we've gone to the Wells Fargo branches like 6+ times at this point to try and get this issue resolved. But at this point, we need like SPE support to try to get this resolved, or someone from Wells Fargo, because it's been
Yeah, this is strange because this account was set up as a DSATS account. We are not a sub account of SPE. The only thing we use is their C umbrella. We're not one of those SPE accounts. So Wells Fargo's really fucked up. They've done something totally illegal.
Well,
Yeah,
no, I
something-
think it's under the DBA, right? Both groups are probably DBAs from the SPE, so they decided, I guess, their internal link the two accounts together.
Mhm.
I would imagine that's the way it went.
Yeah, it's very odd.
Here is a
Yeah,
just
that's
a
on the action
nuclear
item for
option,
me
you know.
too, Demetrios.
maybe close it all together and start clean in a different bank. Maybe it's time for that, you know.
That would make it a lot easier. Wells Fargo's been a nightmare from the day it goes.
Yeah,
I mean,
because especially we have changed our name, DSA, the A, we have changed the name. So we could like start it in a new bank, or we're gonna have to do some more work at Wells Fargo anyway to change
is
the
the time.
DBA name.
I mean, this is the time, Sam, the name and all this mess. You don't need a better excuse to move to somewhere else, you know.
Yes, sir. But that's
Does
how
it
the
require all the same
update I had.
signatures to close the account?
Even if it does,
Probably.
I think it's worth it.
Fair.
Yeah.
You
I
may
don't know
have to
who would-
redo the DBA and so on. It'd be interesting.
My last comment is you might want to talk to Robert Wiley. He's the treasurer for Wellbore Positioning and ISC WSA, and he has a small private bank and he has no problems. So we discussed this with him before when there've been complaints about Wells Fargo. So he
Yeah.
might be a source to find a bank in Houston that he has found reliable.
Robert is using a personal account, John. Remember that. It's like a name of an individual. It's not the entity that has that account.
Yeah, okay, fair. I don't know details. I just know that he's been happy with it, and it's a small bank. It's not like Wells Fargo has a problem because of all those issues they got busted for. So
Yeah.
then they brought in a huge bunch of policies which now just get in the way of a lot of things.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Mm.
Sorry.
No. It's I think your confusion is we're all confused. It doesn't make sense how they're on the account. Even the Gulf Coast team doesn't know how they're on the account. It's very odd. They were very kind of taken aback and confused on the situation as well. So certainly wasn't intentional on their side, and they're happy to help correct the issue however we can. But I know
I can
once
tell you
Sam
a
gets
bit of
back stateside, we'll
History here. When Robert and I updated the officers and the signers 4 years ago, it was 4 people in the account. There was no Gulf Coast. This happened later, unilaterally from Wells Fargo.
Well, and it's between when you and Robert came onto the account to date is when all of those policies changed.
At that time, when Mark dropped off and I came on, it was Robert, myself, and the CFO of SPE that had the signing authority. That's it.
Yes.
The Gulf Coast thing appeared when we tried now to move me out and bring you in, Blake.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
So in between now, how did this happen? They haven't explained that.
No, and even when that last banker we talked to tried to trace all of that back, it's not clear when they were added to the accounts.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying.
So is that an action then? I mean, I know
Yes.
these issues
This
with
is-
Wells Fargo. Okay, so is the action
Yeah.
to move to another bank, like close Wells Fargo, go to another bank? Are we deciding that?
I think we leave it with Sam and Blakely. They've got
Yeah.
their hands all around it. They know what
Okay.
it is. They're competent. We don't need to meddle.
Yeah.
But the action is, I think, like, especially once Sam gets back, that'll be important that we get that closed out as soon as
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah.
And this is
Okay.
Greg. If you need any information from Steve, just let me know and we can forward, provide me any questions or any issues you might have for him, and I can pass those along to Steve, our CFO, to see, you know, if you need him to jump in and do anything or provide support.
Can
Yeah,
we blame Greg? Can we blame him?
I don't know if we can blame him or not. Sure, we can blame him. I don't think he'll
What's
accept the
stopping us?
blame though.
So we for the SPE like primary Wells Fargo, like there should be a commercial banker contact that Steve has that he should work with directly.
Yeah, he might. I'm not sure.
Anyway, that may be a good place to start. Getting that person's contact information or just setting up a meeting between Steve, Sam, myself, and this Wells Fargo banker. But we will continue to, I don't know, try to understand what happened, or worst case scenario, just open new accounts with a different bank, because I think at this point we're all done with the constant kind of runaround that we've gotten with Wells Fargo. Okay, so Cody, if you want to share the quick membership update. Let's see. If you want to share it on your screen, that works too, just if it's easier, because I think I just have the screenshot.
Right.
I caught you at the worst time. I'm so sorry.
No, I literally just put a big mouthful of granola. And,
Oh,
all right,
no.
let me share my screen.
All good.
So it looks like they changed up the dashboard and the whole membership reporting piece. So I need to do a little digging here, and my hope, and Greg put me in touch with one of the developers, and unfortunately it's not accessible, but I really want to be able to pull these numbers and actually create my own graphs and be able to trend things, because right now this is all I get. I mean, it's essentially this exactly, and then
you don't
just
get the raw
put
data.
Yeah, so I don't have any of the data. So I could take it all and then guess and enter it into a spreadsheet, but nobody's got time for that. So, highlights highlights this month. I think with the beginning of the year, we had a lot of new members, and it's showing up as member conversion, and then also retention as well. So in 2025 at the end, we were at 3271, and then as of January, and this is where things get a little messed up now. Before, the numbers were all reported as end of month. Now they are the day that you're looking. So my stats will be a little off here. But we're at 3975, which is pretty amazing, because if you look at December in 2024, we were at 2411. So that's a huge difference. This graph right here basically looks at the difference, and you can see the uptake basically at the end of the year and the big push that we did. So whatever we're doing, it's working, especially towards the end of the year with the events at ATCE, the increased social media coverage. It's showing, the efforts that we've put in are showing in terms of membership numbers. I had it on the previous month, but the webinar that we put on, we had 54 active members, which was pretty amazing to see. I think we can get that up. The DSATS LinkedIn page, we've grown 41 members this month. There's a big opportunity here to see quite a bit of growth in the LinkedIn page, especially if it's going to be our primary means of communication other than the mass emails. And one thing I did want to bring up to the group there is, it's interesting because and maybe Riam, you can explain this better, but it's a page, not a group. So there's some of the DSAT committees theirs are groups versus pages. And so that works a little bit differently in how DSAT shows up, and the way that I'll take the risk of pulling open my
I actually
LinkedIn
have
in
zero
here.
to contribute to that. I was handed over, here's LinkedIn, do something with it. And I'm just posting to wherever we have something. So I actually don't know the implications between a group and a page. I don't. I am anxious to learn that. That would be great if there's a way to impact this, like do this a different way. I'm just creating content and posting it wherever is available.
So
Mm.
the way, if you guys can see my screen, the groups
Yeah,
show
okay.
up under your groups. And
Mhm.
then if you look at this, it's actually like a company page on how LinkedIn is set up. So it handles things a little bit differently in terms of how it publicizes things that are added. So it's something worth considering because I
Okay.
just have noticed that this is not as prominent as some of the groups that I'm in LinkedIn.
That's a good
we-
point. I didn't know that nuance. Okay, I'll look into that.
Okay. Yeah, just something to consider. But yeah, that's pretty much my update there. Oh, big thing is if you haven't already, renew your membership. You know, it's beginning of the year. I'm pretty sure you can have it on auto renew. If not, then I need to make sure that mine's renewed. Greg, you got a question?
Just wanted to chime in on the membership builder. There is a new version of membership builder out. They rolled it out right before the holidays. I think I sent out an email to the officers with a quick user guide to kind of step people through how to do the reports. There's more reports to download now, and the formatting is a little different. You kind of have to get used to it. Like if you pull up a roster, you only see one page, and there's like a page up at the top left. You can page forward and page backwards through the pages, so you don't see everything in one big spreadsheet like you did before. You have to page through and look for things. But if you export using that export button at the top left, it exports it as like if you pull the membership roster, it exports it as a full spreadsheet like you would be used to seeing. So it's a little different, and kind of have to get used to how it works, but it gives you more detailed reports to choose from. So, that's a good thing. And I know they're still working out some of the kinks. So, bear with them. It's a new system, but yeah, just let people know that when you go there, you'll see a new look and a new feel with Membership Builder.
I have a quick comment. So I've been in this group about 16 years. That 1,000 addition from our peak to today is incredible. And it's going against the grain of the number of participants in SPE. So it's not only an uptick, it's an uptick in a down world. And I would credit all of that to Riam's activities.
Aw, get out of here, guys.
Truly, truly.
Now, serious, that's the big thing that's changed.
Well, thank you.
I mean, the events, the symposiums and the ATC event, we've been doing it over and over and over. It's not a change driving membership.
Mhm.
So I think there's a huge benefit from what you've been doing, Riam.
Thank
Yeah,
you. I'm glad.
It goes to show the power of having that online presence and
Yeah.
being consistently in front of people. Because we know it's like the emails only do so much, but everybody sits there and doom scrolls LinkedIn, right?
Right.
So it may be worth looking at creating a group.
Yeah.
John probably knows more than I do about it, but it's just the communications are handled differently. I think if it's a company, the impression I get is they limit the spam or the communication that's
reach of,
coming
like,
out
your
from
posts
that
and things.
page.
Okay.
Versus a group, people are choosing to be a part of. This may just be a perception piece, but that the WITS board group or subcommittee group that I'm in, that stuff, when they post something, it seems like it stays on the top of my feed, and it becomes very prominent until I look at it, and then it moves away. So however the evil algorithm in the background is working, we should try to take advantage of it.
Yeah. Okay.
I think
Good to know.
adding that group would be good, and it shouldn't be too hard once it's set up. Put the same material in both. Hey, some unknown person has started a recording. Who is that?
No, that's Greg's
It's
continued.
Greg. He just dropped.
He dropped,
I
but
see.
he's still
Sorry, Greg.
recording. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
All good now. I did Cody on that slide from November. I don't think that had the updated SPE live stats. So I just dropped the stats that Asha sent us in December. From the updated SPE Live, we had 776 day of live on Energy Stream, and 500 live views on LinkedIn. So we got some pretty good interaction from that one as well.
That's amazing. I'm going to add those to my slide deck.
Okay. And then I guess while
good.
you're working on that, Ram, if you want to give our marketing sponsorship and
Sure.
upcoming
I'll
event
share
updates.
I'll share my screen, and it's just on OneNote, guys, so it's not gonna look too fancy. This is from last time. So let me just move through. Okay, so for sponsorship, we'd had some email discussions back and forth on how we want to structure platinum, gold, silver, and that kind of thing. So here's the summary. Platinum, yes, $5,000, and that covers you annually. So when I'm posting things on LinkedIn, on the website itself, things like that, it'll be like, you are a platinum sponsor. But we're only offering that up until March, because the flagship event where you get the most exposure, if you will, like traditionally in a live event, is that symposium. So I'm trying to push the urgency of the timeline of like, don't you want to be a platinum sponsor? And then you're a sponsor on all of the, events, like your name is there for the events moving forward throughout the year. So that's the platinum. The gold is 3,000. It's event based. It will be available year round, but it can be more chosen of, I want my name, or my company name rather, on this event, so that's kind of the line between those. Again, both get the same type of visibility at an event, right? Like, it's not like you get this many slides if you're this one or this whatever. It's like you just get that, but you're associated to a specific event if you're gold, as opposed to platinum, you're all of the events. I think this does provide this clear linkage between like, here's where the funding is going towards, like which initiatives, and then you as a sponsor get these benefits. I think it just kind of clarifies that. So, okay. Upcoming events on my radar. I had a longer list up here on the last one, but like that's kind of more details of like little Drillbotics type of updates that I can potentially talk about. But the high level ones, guys, Enrique, 25th of February is the SPE Live, where we're featuring Drillbotics. You and I need to have a meeting. Enrique is online, right? Okay, there he is. So we need to have a meeting to discuss those topics. I know we were going to feature a team that was like, I don't know, passed to the next round or whatever it is. So like you and I need to have that meeting. So let's get that on the calendar. Of course, we have the DSATS and Art Symposium on the 16th of March, very busy week. So the Tuesday through Thursday there is the actual conference where we'll have the Drillbotics booth. And then that Friday is the DWIZ event, the DWIZ meeting. And so just multiple planning things happening for each of these events. From a marketing perspective, I'm going to keep pushing this platinum sponsorship. Really, I'm only talking platinum. I'm not even talking gold on LinkedIn, just to make them think that's the only thing that's available. So that'll be up until March, and then after that, I'll switch over to gold. I'll attract people to watch the SPE Live. Obviously, I've already started communications on the symposium. I'll continue to do that. The reminder of the 19th February early bird deadline, where the price goes up, for registration. So try to register before then. I've got the panel session, feature each of the panelists kind of in a different post. The breakout session, that was what Cody shared on his screen. Like, I did a carousel where it showed each of the topics that we're going to be featuring. So that's one of those. And then do something about the networking session. Like, hey, it's not just all work. Like, let's all enjoy each other also afterwards. Like, that's part of this event as well. Again, the Drillbotics booth. So Enrique, when you and I talk about get together for SPE Live and get like Drillbotics update type of stuff, I would like to understand more about what the plans are for the booth and kind of pick out pieces that I can feature on any LinkedIn posts. Matt, DWIZ event also on the radar. So I'll be publicizing about that as well. And then I've kind of split these up, as you guys can tell, on like, okay, this is a sponsorship type of post, whereas this is an event, like come join us in person. And I also want people to understand how they can join us online. So if there's any like DWIZ demonstrations or something, you know, I want to stay on top of that so I can say, hey, join us. You know, these are the different ways you can engage with us, whether it's online or in person or what have you. The website, I have already started on adding the DWIZ event registration and information. So that'll be featured on the website as well. Moray and Shashi, you guys both reached out actually about the Constitution and the bylaws and that kind of stuff. I will add that functionality of the administrative documents, like putting that back on the website as well. Quick question for y'all. Does that need to be like locked down for any reason? Like, do we need like only members can see Constitution or bylaws, or do you guys care? Like, I'm just gonna add a tab.
We previously had a PDF version available to all.
Okay.
And the Word version was locked down.
Okay.
So you had to log in as there were specific users that would get access to the library folder where the Word documents reside.
Is anyone opposed to, on the website, I'm just going to post the PDF live version, the things that are released, and rather than using the website to manage an in-work version, can we just use the SPE, whatever shared folder that we all have like secret access to or whatever? Can we manage it there instead of the website?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. And that's really, this was a note to self. But yeah, that's my update. Any questions?
Miriam,
yes.
Yeah, I've got a question. So the panel session feature the panelists. You mentioned before about getting like a quotation from each of them.
Yeah, that was an early idea. Yeah.
No, that's good. That's good. The draft email document that I circulated around that I plan to launch tomorrow to the panelists includes a request for that. If you just take a quick, you have a look and just tell me, does it need rewording to get what you want? Of course, we have to maybe chase them. But my plan now is not to have a meeting, but to send an email, then have a meeting with them all. I think I said late February. So once we get their presentations and stuff, I find today people are not showing up for meetings and it's too much damn work. So I want to go email route. Just let me know if I'm asking the right question for the info you want to use.
You know what? I'm happy to also send this to you, like an example here to be like, hey, this is what we're trying to do for each of y'all. You know,
do it.
Quote here, and maybe that'll be easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that a picture says 1,000 words, right? So
yes.
I'll just send that example.
Excellent. Thank you.
And I've added, Cody, to your point, on LinkedIn. Let me make sure group versus page. So that'll be an action for me. So yeah, that's my update.
Excellent.
No, great update. I think all that's going to be good, and the like content calendar that you have leading up to the symposium, I think will really help. It may be helpful too. I don't know how or if we want to track like signups for the symposium, because I think who checked last, we were only at like a handful of people signed up.
So Maury and I will track that with Stacy. She'll give us an update. She has the numbers or access to the numbers. Ultimately, she will give us a list in Excel of the names of the people. It should have other things like company and whatever. Yeah. And then we'll use that list to do a sort to assign them to tables. And then we'll have to do, I think Maury put that in a minutes of meeting, to do a final on-site check to see if there's more signups that we need to assign, so everybody gets a table to go to.
Yes. I think maybe for the February meeting, we can do like an update on how many people are signed up, just so we all have a gauge of, I don't know, how much, additional like LinkedIn coverage we may need or.
Yeah, so as I said the other day in the meeting, and you just basically repeated here, Stacy said 2 people were signed up. She said, don't panic. People are signing
Yeah.
up very
Yeah.
late these days. She reminded us of the uptick in the price. Early bird registration, as Riam noted there, is February the 19th. So I shared that with Riam. Riam is going to use that as a push to say early bird. But nowadays, people are staying, waiting really late, regardless of early bird pricing. So we
Yeah.
would expect a ramp up a couple of weeks before the event. That's the unfortunate thing.
I think
Yeah,
there's
I
a
mean-
second hike in price too, isn't there, at the end of February?
No, there's one hike.
I
It
know what you're
goes up
talking about
once.
because there's 3 columns, Blakely, but I forget
Yes.
what it's like the day of though. I don't know if there's a
Oh.
different dollar amount, but it's like the
No,
day
no,
of.
for-
Oh, yeah, it is.
no.
It's if you do it in person,
In
like the
person.
17th to the 19th of March. It's
Yeah.
an extra $200.
Yeah.
But I mean, the early bird pricing is only a $200 difference for the full.
No, our early bird pricing is 65 to 85 for
Ah,
DSATS.
yes.
For specifically the symposium.
So
Yeah.
we have student, non-SP, SPE, and then the tick up in the pricing, I think it's $20.
Yeah.
It's an incentive, but these guys in SPE running these events tell me people ignore that. They just leave it to the last minute.
I wanted, I
frankly,
don't
the
have anything
difference-
to, go ahead, sorry, Maury.
Frankly, the difference in the price, nobody gives a crap. Two hoots. You know, it's just not enough of a difference for people that are paying through corporate cards to care about.
Yeah.
But it gives us a little bit.
Flexibility is worth way more than saving a few dollars. It really is.
But we can't cross that bridge. We just, as Maury
Nothing we can
pointed
do
out,
about
we
it,
just
is what
got,
it is.
we got to work with the listing at the very last minute, but do a preemptive work. What was it, a couple of weeks before, I think, Maury. So we'll be working up to the last minute on assignments to tables.
I wanted to add another category that I have nothing underneath of marketing, which is like printed collateral. So if there's anything to think about that we need to produce physically, whether it's like a flyer or it's a banner or a flag, I don't know what kind of budget we want to use. You know, I'm thinking of the Drillbotics booth as an example, right? Like as a starting point. But like if we want to like zhuzh up our like kind of display and look, it's just something it's on my radar. I just don't know what to do with it yet.
Didn't we talk about doing a pop-up
Yeah,
that we
did.
could use both at the
Yeah.
booth and at the symposium?
Symposium.
And,
yes.
and then we can just use
and
it.
for future. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's on my radar. It hasn't fallen off my radar is the point, Blakely. I just haven't done anything with it yet.
Yeah,
I think something like that in the booth with a QR code would be useful because people can flash it with their phone and take away information or sign up or whatever it is.
Right. Because I know we were like, do we have a printout that goes on an easel or something? Or I think a pop-up banner is like all in one, so we don't have to like haul an easel around. Yeah. So anyway, just that's on my radar also.
Yeah. Demetrius, you had something?
Yes, about people signing late. I think it wouldn't hurt to, in the LinkedIn posts, etc., to mention that for planning purposes, for the reception, catering food and drinks, etc., we need to know earlier than later who is coming. So people,
It's true.
maybe that will help people, sign up, because if they're planning to go one way or another, $20, like Maury said, is not going to make a difference. But helping us to plan does make a difference.
Yeah, I think on that, Demetrios, the drinks are a wash through with using the tickets. So the more money we get in, the more tickets we give out. So that balances the food. We have to cut the deal on the food usually 7 or 10 days in advance. And I'm always pretty stingy. Maury isn't. Maury gets tons of food, but I'm always pretty stingy.
Anita, it's all for me. That's why.
Between the two of you, it'll be the perfect amount of food because you'll compromise somewhere in the middle and then it'll be perfect.
So John gets one sandwich and everything else is mine. Yeah.
I mean, in one of those events, we ran out of coffee, if you remember.
I think as long as we don't run out of coffee, we're okay. That's the real critical. Always order extra coffee. The rest, nah.
I mean, yeah.
Well, speaking of symposium, perfect timing.
Hey, can I just one thing, Blakely? Do we want to hear nominations from Sashi? I just realized it's not on the agenda, but is it for an update or is it leave it for another day?
It's kind of the in between. I know we're still in flux. We can update maybe on the committed and who we're still searching for. I think our tentative timeline was like end of this week or Monday to send out finals. I don't know if we'll be 100% ready for that, but Shashi, if you want to share a quick update, now would be a good time.
Yeah, sure. I can share my screen. Give me 1 second. Can you all see my screen?
Yeah.
So let me walk you through the spreadsheet, right? So few things so there's a few positions that are opening up. And if you look at the column F, term end date, anything that says March 2026. So we have the Middle East program chair, Latin America program chair, Europe program chair, and then Asia, right? They're all opening up. And then we also looked at currently, Rim, you got 2 roles. You got the marketing role and the administrative. The last time when we did these nominations, we ended up combining the 2 roles. Now I think with the workload, especially with this big push in membership and engagement and all that, we felt we need to separate our administrative. So we have that position that we need to fill. And then the university relations really weren't seeing much traction with the person in that role. So we said we need to find another person for university relations. The ones that are not highlighted in yellow, we've got confirmation. So Harry, I'll screw up his last names. Harry
We all
S.
won, it's okay. Harry.
Harry. So he used to be the Drillbotics lead for TUC when he was studying there. He's recently moved to Weatherford. We interviewed him for the young professional chair. Came out as a pretty enthusiastic, strong candidate. So, and I talked to him. He is looking forward to helping us out on DSATS and take over the administrative chair position. So Harry is on board. John DeWard, he recommended Mahmood. Works in ADNOC. He's pretty active. I've seen him publish a bunch of papers, active in the local SPE chapters. And he's graciously agreed to take over as the Middle East program chair. I'll skip you, Cody. We'll come back. That's the surprise that we were talking about earlier on the call. So maybe we should talk about it. What we've been discussing is there's maybe you haven't had the conversation yet, Blakely. So this will be a full surprise. Perfect.
Yeah, we haven't been able to connect. We've been Cody, you gotta quit.
So I guess let me start with this. I think if you look at our program chairs, there's few regions that are active because we have events in each of those regions, right? Like North America and then Europe. There's really no activity in the other regions. I know Nestor in Latin America, you're really helping us out driving robotics engagement. So a lot of good stuff happening in Latin America. But if you look at Middle East, Asia Pac, Australia, really not, right? The other thing we also discussed was these roles are not just program chair, but we also want them to drive local engagement. So we're thinking of doing a few things. One, have something like a lead program chair. Maybe it's the person that takes over North America, takes over as the lead, works with the other regions, and starts to define what do we want this role to be. It's more than just organizing the 2 events. We want to drive local engagement in areas where, for example, we want to push Drillbotics presence, maybe in Middle East or Asia Pac. Maybe that's the focus for the program engagement chairs there, right? So the thought process is we move Cody to North America program chair and kind of drive the program engagement chair group. And then Nestor, since you're coming off the Latin America program chair, we would love for you to continue to be engaged in DSATS and be the membership chair, take on that role that Cody was serving in previously. So that's the switch, Cody. So
However, this only happens if Cody agrees. You have
So no
full
pressure.
authority to say no if you don't want to take on the program chair, because it is a fairly, decent commitment between the ATC reception and the symposium every other year. So we can talk about this one later and offline.
Yeah,
We
think
do not
about
need to,
it.
Definitely.
Yeah,
No.
give it some thought. Definitely chat with Blakely about it, and I'm available to chat too if you want to, Cody.
Deal.
Then moving down the list for Europe, talk to Eric. He would love to support. He would love to take the lead on it. What we've been thinking as the nomination committee is Harry is coming in new. He's pretty enthusiastic, and maybe he can partner with Eric, and that way we have a talent pool, right, that we are mentoring. And then for university relations, this was again another recommendation from John. So John, you got an extensive network, man, and kudos to that. You know people. So we have Fuad Badrucci. That's from Montana Tech, right, John?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, MTech, Montana Tech. So he's agreed. I reached out to him. He's looking forward to it. So he signed up for the university relations. And then for Asia Pac, discussion we have ongoing is, should we combine Australia with Asia Pac? And Farhan Khan, who currently leads Australia, can potentially handle both regions. So in summary, I think we've got 3 positions still open that we need to fill. Kind of have people lined up for all the others. And I guess maybe a question for the group is, if you're not able to fill, we can still go ahead and send out saying, hey, here are the open positions, and reach out to the DSATS membership, right, to see if there's anybody interested.
I think, Sashi, that if the board and officers can look at those empty slots and say, hey, I know somebody who I trust that I can put his name forward, we're going to get a better selection. So I think that would be the first step. When we get people volunteering out of the blue, it's hard to figure if they're really going to be engaged or just want their name on the list. I think the big one is the program chair North America, and I'm not going to discuss it further, but if Cody's unable to do it, we really got to figure out who to put in that role, because I've done it, Maury's done it, but we have experience in doing it. And the question is, who can pick up the tab on that one?
Yeah.
Of course, so 2026, the symposium will be done, the ATC event, which is much easier. And then in 2027, it'll be Eric on the hook in Norway again. So it's not a crash and burn thing. It's a step into kind of deal.
Yeah. As a side note, I'll ask around for Latin America potential. The only one that comes to mind that I've worked with that's been nice to work with, I don't know if she'd be interested at all. Lucretia Gava, who works in Tech Patrols, she leads their real-time center. Super passionate about like data-driven analytics, automation, remote operations. I don't know if she wants to do anything extra or above and beyond, but I know she has a really good network down there too. She could be one that we reach out to.
There's another one that I might have on my radar too, from Stena Drilling. Alberto, I'm trying to look up his last name right now. Morandi, I think it is. I'll talk to you guys about it.
Also, there are a couple of guys in Sao Paulo from ESSS, the partner of Petrobras, that have been regular attending DWIS meetings and our events. It may be worth reaching out to one of those guys.
Yeah, the Stena guy I mentioned, he's in Guyana.
Okay.
I've reached out to my contacts too. Oh, go ahead, Andre.
About the people from each SSS, what do you want from them? Because I know a lot of people from them.
If one of those can become the chair for South America for DSATS.
I'm going to check here.
Okay.
Maybe I have them answer during the meeting.
I already sent an email. It was up to the CEO of YPF if they can propose somebody from YPF. So I will wait until he answer. I think that people from YPF or people from Petrobras that they are involved and they are involved in the SPE is very important because they can make the thing easier and they can move around in order to people to follow them. It's easier to be followed by follow in a big company than in a small company.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
Especially
please.
if it's a YPF or a Vista, I think that would send a strong message and we'd get a lot of engagement.
Yep.
So please send me the names. I've reached out to a few folks in Tech Petrol and YPF too. They were on a panel, on an AI panel with me in Colombia. So
Yeah, Tech
hopefully
Control
we'll
should
get.
be another option. So you send me the name of the girl, I can meet him, her, and I try to explain what we need to do.
Good job, Sashi.
Hey,
Yeah.
thanks. I should acknowledge we had John, Murray, and Robert on the nomination committee. So really helped out getting this going. Appreciate it,
Yeah,
guys.
I think the new names are energetic guys who do volunteer, which is a big plus.
Yeah, agreed. Thank you, Sashi. I know it's a lot of work and it's a bigger effort than you would expect to go through and not only collect the names but coordinate and talk to everybody. So I know we all really appreciate it, and a lot of those positions are very important for what we do next year too. So big thank you. And for I guess really the North America program chair and Latin America program chair, those are probably the two critical openings. What's the third?
The Asia Pac and Australia.
Asia.
Asia Pac, sorry. But if we
Yeah.
combine, then I guess
I think we were
Farhan.
gonna combine, right? Okay.
So I can reach out to Farhan and ask him if he's okay doing the combined role.
Okay. Good deal. Okay. Perfect. With that in mind, I guess we'll move into symposium planning. So Maury, if you want to give a quick update, I think probably most that are still on the call are pretty up to date, and then we can move into the spin training.
So John and I discussed. John, do you want to bring up and share the cue sheet, and we'll just run through quickly what the plan is for the symposium?
Yeah.
I would bring it up, but unfortunately, the Dropbox that we're using to manage it that I created, I no longer have access to because of Halliburton IT, which you can
So
tell.
can you see it? This was updated January the 6th. So this is the version.
Okay, so the background on the symposium, as most people probably know, but for those that don't, is we have rebranded to Drilling Systems Advancement technical section that has to be more than just words, right? So what exactly does that mean, and how do we drive that change going forward? So we're using the symposium this year as a focal point mechanism to make that drive happen. And the gist of the outcome is to define what the various activities and areas are that the Drilling Systems Advancement technical section needs to focus on. So we will have, I think it is a 30-minute upfront outline from Blakely, which is our standard symposium updates on where we are as a technical section, introduce the concept of the Drilling Systems Advancement technical section, before we break out into really two sets of exercises around the way forward. So the first one is we've defined, I think, John, 6 different areas of focus
Yes.
for us to look at. And we will have a panel session with an operator, an OEM, a service company, and a drilling contractor, and each will cover different aspects of those 6 areas in a quick 12-minute presentation, each followed by Q&A, which John is going to moderate. And the purpose of that is to set the discussions up and align everybody to what the areas of discussion need to be before we then take a break and come back, and we'll then start executing on an active exercise where we're going to have different tables, and at each table they'll have different questions, and we're going to actively ask them to define what does the drilling systems advancement technical section need to do for the community in order to support moving forward in these different focus areas. Now, to manage how we do that, we're using a process called SPIN, which I'm going to hand over unless there are questions. John is going to cover how SPIN works here in a minute. But the main thing is the outcome from, there's a bit of a changing of the guard here. We have a lot of new younger members coming in, taking leadership roles. We want to have content at the end of this symposium that new team has in order to go away and execute on with DSATS going forward. So any questions, or we can get into talking about SPIN?
Just one thing is, I think is extremely important, and I detailed an email the other day following our meeting, and where Paul Pastusek raised the question, basically what's going to happen to the output from this symposium, which will be flip charts full of information. I think it's extremely important that DSATS officers and board, and someone takes the lead, has a plan as to what's going to happen. So including the idea some of you came up with is to hang up the flip charts in a large room somewhere, have the leaders from each group present their flip charts and record it so it can be transcribed into some material, because then DSATS officers and board need to select what it is that they believe they can accomplish, because you can't do everything, right? So what it is you could accomplish that you would set up as effective subcommittees. Hopefully that email came across as a positive idea. But I think there needs to be another plan like this plan, because otherwise it could just fall flat, and it would be a bit disappointing if it did. I think, Blakely, will you be around to do that, or what's you'll be at the
I'll be around.
conference? Okay.
Yeah, I'll be here.
Okay, because I think it'd be really good. I believe it would be really good if there is a room already organized a few days after the symposium, that's everybody who's a leader on a group can meet there and do that process that you guys talked about the other day of presenting your flip charts and then recording it and transcribing it automatically, and then you guys deciding what you want to do. And the sooner that's done, the fresher it will all be.
Mm. Do we want to try to just have our March officer meeting in person surrounding the conference? And we can do that at that time.
That would be great. And I think you'd have to have a virtual access to it, because of course some people are overseas and whatever. Although I don't know if they're coming. DWIS is on the Friday, so that would be a clash if it went straight then. But somebody needs to grab that and plan it.
DWIS is
when you
in
say
the morning now.
When you say the March meeting, you talking about the monthly standing meeting that we have,
our monthly
meeting
officer meeting. Yeah, instead of doing it the second Thursday.
Yeah. Okay.
Just do it the week.
The 19th.
Well, and I think that second Thursday probably falls on most people's spring break. So we'd probably have to move it anyway. But if we want, we can just put it that same week of the conference. And even if it's we can work on time, but that may be the best.
Yeah.
As long as it's following the symposium.
Yeah, personally, I mean, Maury and I are stepping aside once that symposium, 5 p.m. on that Monday, we're off the books, so somebody needs to take even silly little things. They need to take the flip charts and secure them I had a guy take flip charts once and he lost them all in a suitcase in Bolivia. But, you know, we don't want things like that to happen.
No. We won't lose the flip charts.
I'm happy to take them.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, then the other thing is,
So spin. Or Greg, do you want a quick go? Wow.
Just a
John's
quick,
pulling that up.
yeah, sorry, I had to leave and I jumped back, but I just wanted to mention a couple of things. I know some of the sections are waiting on those reception numbers from ATCE. I'm still waiting on those for the receptions to see what the actual catering costs were and how much money you'll get back. Usually I have those numbers from the event staff in mid-December, but I know they lost a couple of people due to the reorganization and they're a little behind. So once I get those numbers, I'll let you know how much money you guys will be getting back. It should be a little bit because let's see, I know you had $4,000 in sponsorship, and let's see, I think you had $4,000 in sponsorship, and then you had $2,200 in ticket sales.
Mhm.
So for $6,200. So last year catering was like $1,300. So not sure how much it'll be this year based on inflation and all that good stuff, but you should be getting a good chunk of money back. So
yep. We look forward to it, Greg.
but yeah,
Hey,
once I
follow
get
up on
those
the-
numbers, I'll let you know.
Yeah,
I know they're
AV
running
budget.
late.
Yeah, AV budget. What's the AV budget going to be?
I talked to Chad yesterday about the symposium, and as far as, because we have HFTC coming up in February and the drilling conference in March, and for both of those, Chad says we're still good. After that, I'm not sure what it's going to be for ATCE. The decisions may change between the symposium and ATCE, so we'll see what happens later in the year. But it should be good for those for the symposium.
Okay, so we can scratch the $5,000 in our budget and assume it will be covered by you.
Yes,
Thank you.
as long as it's not over $5,000, which I don't see why it would be.
We're cheap. Don't worry.
We don't
And
need anything
also-
too fancy.
And also, Blakely, while I have you here, I don't want to interrupt anything, but I'm sending out an email. Late last year, we did Chad and I did a questionnaire and sent it out to all the student chapters and faculty advisors and wanted them to respond to us if it was okay for us to use their contact information to share with the technical sections. So we got those results. I got those results yesterday. And so I'll be sending out an email to each of the technical section chairs with 2 spreadsheets. One spreadsheet are the student chapters and faculty advisors that said, yeah, go ahead and share our information with all technical sections. The second spreadsheet will be the same thing, but only for those student chapters and faculty advisors that said, just share it with a certain number of technical sections. I don't know why they did that, why they just wouldn't say share it with everybody, but I guess some were more pickier and choosier. But I'll be sending that out here in the next couple of days. So, the technical sections have been looking for ways to contact and reach out to the students. And so this was one of the few ways we could figure out to get, to share a lot of contact information in one big kind of bucket. So just a heads up that'll be coming out, and then you can use that for, however you want to use it, reaching out to the students.
Can you see my slides?
We
Yes.
can, yes.
Oh, poor you. Okay, so this is a SPIN. It's a simple example to take you through it. SPIN stands for situation. So you establish the background facts of an issue. And then the P is the problem. So what are the problems, difficulties, and dissatisfaction coming from those background facts? Implications. So what's the implied needs? Now we have these problems and dissatisfaction. There must be some needs. And then the need payoff is the potential solutions and benefits that they would bring. And this is the real crux here, is what are the kind of solutions to the situations that are being faced in the scope of DSATS, and what are the benefits? And I refer to Matt here because Matt keeps reminding us, whatever we're doing must have benefits. If there aren't going to be benefits, nobody's going to take up using it. Come on. So I took a theme here. I didn't want to use one of the 6 themes that we've beaten to death and we've put out and Riem has advertised out in the world. So we're already set up for that. I didn't want to go through those. So I picked siloed operator organizations, separated disciplines basically, and their impact on well life cycle. So the situation is, for many years, functional organizations separated drilling, production, and subsurface. There's been limited open communication between them. And this is one I've seen, even when co-locating these organizations along one corridor in an office, they didn't translate to collaboration. People just went their old courses of communications. And then the problem, so well designs miss life cycle needs. So when people are designing wells initially, they don't go talk to production or completion about what your lifting systems need in the way of me drilling this well. One of the big issues, of course, is tortuosity, and basically micro tortuosity causing significant wear of rods and early failure of ESPs. The other one is that drilling typically, and I see this repeatedly, they're doing ellipsoids of uncertainty for collision avoidance at the surface, and they do zip when they get in the reservoir. The other day I was looking at an issue where they need plus or minus 5 feet TVD uncertainty for doing the subsurface modeling in their situation, and drilling was giving them plus or minus 38 feet. So it's unbelievable, real problem. Then what's the implication? So the implications I sort of mentioned there is tortuosity in well bores that is not seen from DLS, dogleg severity, actually causes early failure of tubings, rods, ESPs and the like. Greater subsurface model uncertainty. This has a negative impact on your P1, P2, P3 reserves. What's really interesting, nobody in finance wants to discuss that because they're all lying anyhow. And then greater subsurface model uncertainty yields geological surprises. People go and drill wells and they have an expectation of finding a certain block in the reservoir and bingo, it's not there. And they get a big surprise on production rates, usually lower than planned because of this poor subsurface modeling. And then here's the need payoff. There is a need to generate collaborative along the well life cycle from design, execute wells that deliver value to all disciplines, even abandonment. I've worked on abandonment of wells and you look and go, why the hell did you do this? We really have a problem in the time for abandoning. And when it's an offshore semi doing the job of a subsea well, it costs you a fortune. And then you can lower operating costs. So the OPEX, I talk to production departments and they tell me they hate drilling because drilling never comes and asks them what they want and they hate the wells they give them. So there's a big payoff there. Production volumes will be higher because a better understanding of the subsurface model will lead you to better understanding of targeting your next wells. So new wells, well success in terms of managing costs, reduced risks and improved production outcomes. So the kind of 2 threads I put through there is basically related to wellbore surveying and getting people to understand what they can do with it. So that's the gist of this, is get to the end point where you have a flip chart that says, hey, for this theme, here's the situation, but at the end, there is value. If DSATS can work on these needs, there's value to deliver a result from that. And that becomes the input for DSATS planning. Now, for the people who are going to be, they're already assigned, the people who are assigned to be a leader at a table, I have a written sheet of the steps to go through. I'm keeping them as straightforward as possible. If your table digresses and you see value in their digression, I say go for it. just remember you're on the hook for producing a good output for DSATS to use. But if you digress some way or other that you think has value, go for it. I don't think the rules are that set in stone. But this method does work, and it gives you a way to get to the need payoff. And then so the output will be captured on flip charts for the board to follow up. There's one last piece to this process, and it's the so-called golden nuggets. Mario Zamora was famous for always asking, what's the golden nugget? And a golden nugget, it's a nugget of information, wisdom, or truth that is exceptionally insightful or precious. So during your debates and discussions, if something comes up and you go, wow, that's really insightful, that's really precious for us to know and capture, write it on your golden nugget list. Basically, it's a high value insight that is extremely useful for the DSATs to consider, and we want you to capture that. At the end, each leader is going to get a minute. You can spout out 140 words in a minute, so don't panic, to verbally share their golden nuggets. That is the only output we're going to do on site. As you saw from that cue sheet, the timing is very tight. The outputs flip charts as an input for DSATS officers and board. The leader of 8 tables, so 8 people will stand up and say, these are the golden nuggets I heard, and we also want those on a flip chart. So hopefully that has some sense to it. And yeah, questions?
That was
You
extremely
raised a
helpful.
very
Thank you.
important point, John. But the problem that I see still today is that the drilling manager get their bonus because he drill faster and cheaper. So it's very important what you say. If we can promote the configuration of the whole thing from the beginning to the end, that would be a lot of value in that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for that particular example, you're absolutely right, Nestor. The question here is, does everybody who's involved in this process for the symposium, does this make sense to go this route, and does it give you insight to what we
doesn't
want
really matter if
accomplished?
it doesn't make sense, John, because at this point, but this is the route we're going.
There's something I wanted to add for
Sorry.
clarification. For clarification, as far as structure, is each table is going to tackle at least 2 topics, meaning there's going to be 2 flip charts that have spin on them, but we have 1 minute at the very end to present, and what we're presenting isn't necessarily SPIN for each topic, but rather just verbally 1 minute to talk about golden nuggets.
Golden nuggets.
Correct.
What did I hear that was an aha moment?
Yes.
And the
Okay.
instructions give you, we got to refine it a touch, but you'll end up with 3 colored Sharpie pens, blue, red, and black. The instructions will tell you how to use the colors. The instructions will tell you how to label each flip chart. So it'll have to have your name on it, Riam. It'll have to have the theme name on it, and it'll have to have a page number, and it says situation, right?
Can I just jump in here? There's going to be a training session with all the table leaders. We don't need to train you in this meeting. There's going to be a training session dedicated on exactly how to run the tables. So we'll I think, John, you're planning to set that up soon, right?
No. Oh, sorry.
This background was already
Set
in
away.
Setting up teams. No, I mean, this presentation now is because a question was asked, can you show us what it is? So hence my example now. There are detailed instructions that I've put together and I'm still working on. The flip charts will be laid on the tables. We're not going to pay the friggin' $100 for an easel. And then the flip charts need to be taken away afterwards. And the only verbal feedback is the golden nuggets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we can
Very
have a
clear.
session. We're just, because Robin's not here and there's a few other people. I mean, he's not involved in this meeting. So, I mean, if Riam says...
I think that if the training session, there's like the mechanics of here's the instructions, what marker to use, how to label a flip chart, like that can be done like right before the session, be fine, right? I think what would be beneficial is like these 6 topics is that making sure that the table leaders actually understand what is trying to be understand that topic. Perhaps, right? Unless we want people to kind of interpret it the way that they want to. So we have a variability of response. That's fine as well. You know, I wouldn't assume everybody understands the topics as they are right now.
So there's a documentation that I'll be issuing out that takes you another step forward. I think your response that this starts to make sense to you is positive. I think, yeah, we should have a training session, but it's very hard to get everybody together.
Yeah,
I think the themes, we thrashed them through some months ago. We thrashed them to death. And you tidied it. Well, first Blakely tidied it up and captured it. That was the first step. And then I saw in your media publication, you turned them more into questions, which I've adopted. So I'm following the same thing you did. I've stolen your slides in a PDF and converted them to JPEG. So when I introduce it on slides, I'm using the same presentation you put out publicly, so it looks the same. I think we need that continuity. I think that the themes, they're short and we're not describing them in huge detail because I think we need people to be open thinkers. And that gives us more valuable information than beating everybody into a narrow scope.
Yeah, I see that.
It's a balance. You've got to let them explore, but you've also got to make sure they don't wander off down rabbit holes.
True.
You know?
Yeah.
It's a balance. Yeah.
Makes sense.
So I think that the leader's responsibility is, are we moving towards a good need payoff output that I can take back to DSATS officers and board and say, guys, this is really good insight. We need to work on this. Or is it going down the rabbit hole or rat hole and ending up as being something that's not useful? I think that's just up to the leaders to use their own intuition to figure.
Sure.
And we'll be facilitators as well, John, right?
Yeah. So there's you. Who do we have? You, me, Blakely, I think, as roving facilitators. So we'll be going around, and the 4 panelists will be going around as well. Yes. They would have thought about them because we're assigning them themes. They each get a couple of themes. And then they can go around, and we're asking them to prod the discussion. So they should be prodding their input into the discussion to help stir the pot. And the themes are assigned for the first 2 rounds so that we know we've covered all 6 with multiple groups. And then if you get to a 3rd round, you choose your theme. It's up to you.
My only concern, and we're meeting, we've been meeting regularly as a team on the symposium. The only concern I think we all share is the timing on the cue sheet. It's very, very, very tight. We're going to have to be strict with our timings. So when somebody gets to a minute with their golden nugget, the shepherd's crook is going to come across and pull them. Because otherwise we'll just back out and we'll end up. We have some critical times we have to meet for the venue staff in order for them to do things as well. So. But we just need to be cognizant of, we'll need to be very strict with that. I think back to ATCE networking sessions where we have certain gentlemen came in and talked for 5 hours after we had closed the questions. It felt like we'll just have to make sure that we're strong and we shut that down. We just cannot afford to do it.
Yeah, they're adding to that, Maury, is that the instructions for the leaders about the steps through the spin has timing in minutes for each step. So it gives you
my other suggestion is that the table leaders present the golden nuggets is the other thing we said, because they're more likely to keep it brief.
Oh, yeah. No, the table leaders are the ones that we plan to have present the golden nuggets, and in a sequence. And I also believe, as an aside, we should seat them in a sequence. Riam's at number 1 on the list, just the way it was compiled, and seat them in a sequence so it runs. It doesn't jump all over the room. It runs table
to right,
1, 2,
kind of flow. Yeah.
The thing is, we, just so everybody knows, as Maury mentioned, we are using round tables. The room has to be reset for classroom seating because it's a technical session room. So we have to walk out the door at 5 p.m. Outside the door in the corridor is the networking, the drink. So it's right there. We walk out the door and they want to get to work right away, so they're not doing overtime and stuff. We're paying
Be
to
walking
reset
in
the
back of
room.
the room. Yeah, they're going to be walking in the back of the room at 5 o'clock, so we have to be done.
Okay.
Yeah. We got $400 budgeted for changing the room layout. If we give them a clear shot to do it right away, we'll be on the right side of that cost. If we linger and push them into overtime, we're going to get more expense.
Mhm.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, John. I just wanted to kind of quickly jump in to talk a little bit about robotics. Just, I know we have a little bit of time. We got a strong participation from the physical rig side, as you can see on the screen right now. And we got one team competing on the virtual mode, and two other teams were pending. They asked for some kind of extension on their phase one submission. We said, yeah, let's give them a few weeks just before the judges meet. And unfortunately, from the Russian team, we had to exclude them since U.S. sanctions, due to U.S. sanctions. So basically, export control regulations and stuff like that. Unfortunately, world politics get in the way. We cannot really work with them. So at the end of the day, we have 6 confirmed and teams that have submitted their reports, and they are already on the shared drive. And then 2 of those on the virtual side are still pending, or perhaps they're going to submit soon, hopefully. Otherwise, we're going to have one virtual team from Ghana. What else? I think this was discussed the previous time. Just quickly, some immediate needs and actions. I do have some other action items from the previous meetings and some recommendations that John had sent out and Drew. So we'll be following up on that one. I asked A&M to estimate how much will it cost for them to transport the rig to the symposium and the conference, and they estimated about $1,500. I asked them, hey, can you cover that on your end, or should we budget it? And they said they're willing and able to cover it only if we can't. So I would definitely ask for us to, if we can, to cover those costs, because it's unfair to other teams, perhaps, if they have to put this from the internal budget. They estimate around $1,500 just transportation and having one or two students in there. And what else? Define and implement the committee structure and roles for the meeting cadence. Shashi has gladly and thankfully offered to help me coordinate the judging. I do own you, Shashi, the updated list of judges and contact information. However, I did send an email on December 16 with a Google sheet that I have for the committee members. I just posted basically the committee members that are the most active, and that's to grow. What else? One of the key objectives is not to have the judges just appear and disappear when the judging season comes in. We'll have some kind of cadence so that the project can continue moving forward, and then also everybody has a role and responsibility correctly assigned and ownership on their tasks. Upcoming timeline. Now the judges are to review the phase 1 reports and grade them. And then select some finalists. But then we could potentially perhaps combine Group A and Group B into one, especially we have only one group, one team from Group A. What else? Sashi, if we can, maybe let's hop on a quick call after, later this week, and then just decide how to go about it, whether I could create some kind of survey, or maybe we just share the reports with everybody and have their grading structure as the guidelines say. Anyways, we'll talk later. I'll reach out back to you. Sounds good.
Okay.
Well, awesome. And then for the SPE Live room, I think my intention or our intention could be perhaps to showcase the team leaders of the finalists once they are selected. And then just quickly kind of go over what are they most excited about robotics, why did they join robotics, and how the internal perhaps coordination, how are they finding local sponsors, something around those lines could potentially work for the robotics SPE Live, the upcoming one. And then for the Galveston Robotics Showcase, there's some paperwork that needs to be done just before February or something. But anyway, I'll be taking care of that and coordinating with John and the team. Yeah, guys, those are all the updates. And from
Hey,
my end.
Enrique, with the booth, do you get any exhibitor passes?
We do have exhibitor
So-
passes.
So the
how
students can
many.
get in, the students can get into the exhibits for free.
Yes, it's my understanding they can.
Okay,
At least
that's
for the
good.
day pass, right?
Yeah. And then the 1,500, is that transportation costs or what does that include?
That will be transportation costs, perhaps an overnight hotel, hotel and food. That came from a faculty member advising the TAMU team.
Yeah,
Which
I
I
don't know.
totally-
I don't know what Blakely thinks, but I'd hate them to use anything from their 10,000 budget.
Mm-mm. No. I would agree. I think we should avoid that at all possible. The exhibitor passes, it's not just a day pass. They should have exhibitor for the full 3 days, but it's only exhibitor. And I know SP is pretty strict on making sure they don't go into technical discussions too.
So Blakely, should I add the 1,500 into the budget for the symposium?
For transportation of the rig,
Yeah.
should, yes. I don't know if anyone
Okay.
has a strong disagreement there. 1,500 seems a lot for transportation of the rig. But that may just be my own naivety.
Yeah, it's my understanding that the faculty member just kind of provide an assessment. Perhaps this is on the higher end. Maybe we just have one student or two students on their team, especially if they're locals. They're all on close station.
Yeah, Enrique, can you ask him for a detailed breakdown? Because then you can judge if it's fair or not. And also you have something to judge paying the expenses against. So Sam knows, hey, that's fair based on their budget and the amount they actually incurred.
Yep. Yeah, we'll do it based.
Yeah, agreed. I think for whatever the funds are, we just need to have an itemized breakdown before we get approval or offer to pay. Go ahead, John.
No, I was just going to say I'll put the 1,500 in as a round number and then tune it when Enrique gives us the detail.
Yeah, that's perfect.
I just have a comment on these rock samples. So this is not to one designated site, is it? This is global because the teams are scattered across the base. Okay,
Yes.
yeah. So I don't think we can handle logistically moving rock samples around the world. So we're going to have to source these locally.
Okay.
So maybe what we can do is work with Fred and come up with the actual size that he's used in the past and just basically give them the physical rock properties they have to locate. But then they would have to handle the cost of all that. The only one we can probably handle is either the US or Germany, to be quite honest. Or
okay, John. Yeah, I could think. How was it usually handled in the past? That's because
it depends. I mean, for example, in Germany, everybody congregated at the University of Clausthal's research facility in Celle, and Clausthal provided the rock samples. Ultimately, we sourced it. It was too expensive, and Clausthal found a provider that was really cheap. Before that, when it was in the US, then Fred would send them around the country because he would design the rock. It had certain attributes that were, like rubber layers in it and stuff like that.
Okay.
But I
Okay.
think going
then-
forward, the way to look at this is that each location sources their rock sample given certain physical characteristics of the rock.
Yeah, it should be pretty straightforward to kind of standardize all the teams and say, hey, did you use sandstone? Here are the physical, here are the dimensions, and this type of sandstone you can source it, and then perhaps have some kind of sponsorship for them to do so, if we can, and then we can. Okay.
I'll talk to Fred and get the details down then. Okay, or we'll look at the last one Klaus Thal used. Okay.
Appreciate it, John. Yeah, I think it's important for us to have that rock standardized across the teams.
Yeah.
Is there any action to note on that, on the rock conversation?
Yeah, I will talk with, just say I will talk with Fred and sort it out. And I'll also, the Klaus Thal team has changed now. But anyway, so I will get something together. Okay.
Appreciate it, John. I guess that's all I have from our side.
Perfect. Thank you, Enrique. We're at 10:05. We didn't get a chance to start or go over the robotics update, or not robotics update, sorry, DWIS. Do we still want to do like a quick rapid fire 2-minute update, Matt, or do you want to send out maybe the update via email and Riam can share it in the notes?
Rapid fire.
Right, let's do it.
The main thing on the 16th, we're going to start fleshing out the agenda. We have the agenda. We just need to do all the work to provide the show and tells, and we need the website up for the registration so that we can begin advertising. We're starting to run into a time crunch there, but I think as long as we're up by the end of the next week, we'll be okay.
That will happen.
Yeah. So everything seems to be on track to deliver the event, and we just got to do the work. So all systems go.
Perfect. And the registration for that, is it going to be on the drilling conference website or on the DSATS website?
DSATS, yeah, DSATS DWIS, and we'll.
Oh, okay. There's a
take that
difference there. So
directly.
I was thinking DSATS site, the one that I've been
Yes.
working on. Okay, that
Right.
one. Okay, good.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Good. And I know you and Riam have already been working on a lot of the marketing stuff that's been on kind of the actions as well.
Yeah, I just responded to your email, Matt. So yeah, website and flyer, and LinkedIn posts all in work right now.
Perfect.
Yeah, and deadline of next Friday in time for the board meeting. All doable.
Perfect.
Yeah. And then do you already have some of those like DWIS marketing in our calendar?
No, girl, I put the content calendar then I go rogue. So it's like I just do what I do.
Whatever you're doing
I
works,
need to go update what I already did on the content
No.
calendar.
No.
Once we get the registration up, then I'll draft the emails to Greg to coordinate the email blasts and get all that stuff part going.
Okay. Yeah.
It's just a comment. It'd be really good to get on that web page whenever you release or whatever you release, the link to the GitHub that Eric has just DWIS GitHub site. Eric has upgraded it so it's now readable. So for attendees to go out and grab the information off of there before they come.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go track it down and get it into the flyer.
Yeah, so just so you know, Matt, all I'm doing on the website is the registration and like any information from the flyer, plus I'm sprucing up the flyer as an attachment to put on there. Eric, to your point, I didn't plan on doing any linking between whatever's on GitHub or any other DWIS site. Happy to, just not on my radar right now. So
Yeah, I think it'd be useful to put it up there.
Or John, sorry, John. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll just be looking for any direction from either of you guys on like, hey, when you post this on the DSATS site, include this link that takes them to this thing that tells them this information. Like, again, happy to do it. I don't know what to do in that
Funnel it all
I'll-
through Matt. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'll
cool.
attempt to find it and update the flyer and send it to you later today.
Okay, sounds good. Okay.
Awesome. Does anyone else have anything you want to quick talk about share before we all sneak off of here?
This is Greg. Just real quick, I'm not sure about the symposium. I know that John, I think we had an email a couple of days ago about we had agreed to have contractor, the SPE event staff contractors do the ticket taking at the door. I don't know if I'm going to be budgeted to be there this year. I have to talk with Chad and see with all the different changes and budget cuts and all that good stuff going on, if they're going to let me go. So I just want to make sure, that's why I was asking that, because I just want to make sure that that's taken care of, because normally when I go, that's probably about the only thing I do is take the tickets and just be there and, you know, get to meet everybody and in person and stuff. So I just want to make sure that if I'm not budgeted to go, that those minor things are taken care of. And obviously Stacy will be there, the event staff person, for any kind of issues or anything. So just a heads up on that. I'm not sure if I'll be able to go or not. I just want to make sure everything's covered in case I'm not budgeted to travel.
Yes, so Greg, the setup we got going was, well, Maury and I talk to Stacy fairly often, not too often. Basically, we need to get hold of that reel of tickets and give them to the registration. So they give the drink tickets when they pick up their registration badge. Then that's all handled at that one spot. Yes, the door ladies are included in our budget, and we talked to Stacy about it, but it's one of those things we need to loop back with her and make sure that they are actioned so they'll be there. I think we need somebody on the door. When we've done it ourselves, people just, yeah, it's a bad deal.
And Stacy's the one that has those drink tickets. I usually just get those from her. So, I mean, she'll be the one to have those. She provides those. Yeah, that should be the thing. She should be able to take care of those as well, because that's where I get them from, is from her. So.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah. So we're talking with her. We're making a plan with her. So yeah, for sure. That sounds good.
Yeah. Hopefully here in the next couple of weeks, I'll find out if I'm going to be able to go or not. And we'll see. Hopefully I will.
Yeah. Be good to have you there.
I enjoy going. So it's a nice little vacation. Work vacation.
Don't say that to your boss.
Oh, good. Okay, well, perfect. Well, thank you guys all for hopping on. I know there's always a lot to cover in these meetings, but I'm glad we had our January meeting. Otherwise, I feel like we would have gotten lost between now and February. So, good deal there. We'll keep in touch on like March meeting dates, since that one will probably move to be around the conference. Go ahead, Ryan. What were you gonna say?
Sorry, I was going to say, because I took notes during the meeting. If anybody who shared their screen and has slides or anything like that, if you can send them to me, that would be great. So I can send out the notes plus all the attachments and that kind of thing. That would be appreciated.
Will do.
Thank you. All right. Sorry, I'm going to cut you off, Blakely.
No. Totally fine. All good.
Okay. Thanks.
All right.
guys.
Well,
Happy
thank you
New Year,
guys.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Ciao.
Bye.
See ya.
Right.